Good evening YouTube, this is J5276 and I'm just doing the first in a series of videos where I cover some of the more interesting stuff I'm selling on eBay. As you probably don't know, I sell on eBay quite a lot. I sell stuff for other people who come, well, friends and relatives, that sort of thing, but also people who contact me through the trading assistant scheme where I basically sell things for them, do all the work for them, and then take a cut of whatever money's made. Through one of the latest people who come to me, who's given me some quite interesting stuff, is this little selection. It's various memorabilia and whatever from when Michael Jackson played as part of his bad tour at Aintree Racecourse, Liverpool, which is famous for the Grand National horse race. In September 1988, September the 11th, 1988 in fact. I just thought I'd cover some of the things here. It's quite an interesting find, and it's unusual to have all this different stuff, but I mean in particular what you can see there, the newspaper cuttings and everything, you don't see things like that come up very often. But I'll focus in on some of the other items, so just bear with me. I'm filming this on a tablet because my webcam's crap. It's VGA is the best resolution I can do. Hopefully this is a bit better. So I'll zoom in with me here. So the first thing we'll cover is the ticket. There we go. As you can see, September the 11th, 1986. Interesting in there is 194 Radio City. This is so old that it predates FM radio stations in Britain. That's the actual, I can't remember, is it AM? Yeah, it'll be AM, or possibly even long wave for Radio City. As you can see, the price there, £16.50. I think for your pop stars these days, you'd be lucky to get a key ring for that, I think. Sort of, maybe a t-shirt if you were lucky. But that's interesting enough. So let's see if there's anything on the back. Oh, it's just it's in a money bag, unfortunately. So, but it's basically a map to the racecourse. So just get that out of the way. And we have the tour program. So it's that isn't an actual autograph; it's printed. But essentially, it's a picture book of your man like, and lots of sort of basically stuff saying how great he is. Lots of sort of concert pictures, the usual kind of thing you'd expect. Everything's black and white, obviously. Oh, there's a tour report there from the Far East. That's probably quite interesting. I haven't read through these in their entirety, but you get the idea. Poster in the middle, still intact, colour poster. It tells us 1988, so very little. There's the famous glove, often parodied. So this sort of pretty much when he's at his peak in terms of worldwide, before things started to go a bit pear-shaped. There's the discography. The interesting thing here is he's only released 2 CD singles at this stage. Those funny little shiny discs. As basically going right back to 1972. Covers everything. Pretty much never done up to that point. When was the last single? So it was up to the time of the release of Man in the Mirror. So, and then it continues on, and obviously he's released a few more CD albums. I assume the likes of Off the Wall were re-releases. I don't know. I'm not a Michael Jackson expert. I mean, I did sort of listen to his stuff. I went to see Moonwalker at the cinema. Great film. So I'll just leave that there. And then you've got on the back, lots of dates at Wembley Stadium. I love that. London, 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 Cardiff, Cork, Cork, London, London, Leeds, Aintree. You think they would have put Liverpool full, but never mind. But, you know, it's certainly interesting there. So, bear with me 2 seconds, I fling that out the way. And here we have the t-shirt, which I haven't properly unfolded, but it's what you'd expect. And is that the front or the back? I have actually done the back first, so there we are, sort of in repose. That's probably a bit better. You can probably see that a bit better there. There we are. So you can see that. This doesn't look like it's been worn. I mean, this stuff looks like it's been in storage ever since. You've got the sort of the moonwalker symbol there. It was prominent advertising. Yeah, back before Pepsi helped set his hair on fire, I seem to remember. Rather unfortunate thing. And here we have the this is from the Liverpool Echo, August 30th. So there was quite a big build-up. You can see collar cover, which is a big deal for a local newspaper in 1988. And we have sort of, again, it's not as if they've interviewed him or anything like that. It's just sort of various puff pieces, as they call them. Interview there, probably. You can pause this and read it if I'm not shaking it too much. But yeah, it'll just be whatever. There you go. They've basically, as you can see there, they've just taken the interview from somewhere else. Very sort of going through all the dates there. And yeah, it's just a bit of an interview. And then there's more, filled up with more significant dates and just some pictures of him with famous people. Who's that? Brooke Shields, Ronald Reagan, Elizabeth Taylor, sort of, you know, all the usual people he hung out with. And there we have some more pictures. It's just from his concert in Rome. And they have him there, sort of usual pictures you expect of Michael Jackson. You can see the standard of the colour photography in 1988. And again, more. Yeah, again, that's just more sort of chronology stuff. It's just, and oh, Siegfried and Roy of all people. So there. Them's were the days. So, face to face with the real Michael Jackson. Again, another interview with Legs LaBelle, whoever that is. It's a name that's lost to the history of times. I'm assuming this interview has been taken from some other source, some American magazine. Again, more sort of puff piece type stuff. Advert for a telescope shop. Yep. And just, what is it here? Oh yeah, more factual stuff. Picture. Again, just another puff piece, just not saying very much at all really, but it's just big shiny pictures. And there's his young, oh, Sheryl Crow. It's a young Sheryl Crow. Oh, what do you know? Isn't that a thing? That ass. Yes, anyway. I had no idea. As I say, I'm not a Michael Jackson expert. But, there you go. Sheryl Crow there. Before she, sort of became, as people know, a sort of more country type thing. But, there's actually something interesting. Frank DeLeo, I don't know. But, it's sort of his one of his hangers-on by the looks of it. Is it? I don't know if he's his manager. I don't know who the guy is, but it doesn't really specify who he is. Yeah, he is. He's a manager of sorts, I think. There you go. So there's a sort of another pin-up type picture, and Radio City seem to be claiming this, and if that's supposed to be Michael Jackson, somebody stuffed up their Radio City's enormous pulling power. Yes, well, he still makes these sort of grandiose claims these days, but never mind. And there we are, more pictures. It's the lineup for the Liverpool Empire. Phil Cool, All the Roses, Lionel Richie in the Wardrobe, Gary Newman, so yeah, not exactly obscure stuff, but more pictures. I think stuff about Wembley, more colour pictures. Him hanging around with loads of children. Yes, I mean, some of this can be a bit unfortunate in retrospect. Never mind. And the sort of what you'd expect, not very. It's a bit strange in a souvenir programme to be sort of doing the circle of shame type thing on his. I mean, it seems a bit daft these days to sort of think, has he had surgery? It seems painfully obvious. Quick advert for Alton Towers there. What was that? 3 big new rides. Oh, the Black Hole. That was brand new. Anyway, another big pin-up poster. That is essentially just a load of quotes from various people. Paul McCartney there, Elizabeth Taylor, and so forth. Oh no, sorry, it's not quotes. It's basically just a list of Michael Jackson's influences, probably just information taken from other interviews and gossip and whatnot. And then could be the last chance to see Jacko in action for many years, says this story there. I can't remember if he did another tour for some time, but he did tour again a few times. Of course, he was on tour. Well, he was planning a tour when he died. And another pin-up thing, right? Okay. And then with that, we had a great big poster here from Radio City. You'll have to bear with me as it's quite a big poster. It's more or less 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sheets of A4. Well, just over A4 together, which is not bad, I suppose, for 1988. And so, on to the cuttings. Something about a guy who worked with Michael Jackson when he was last in Liverpool. So you're just basically finding someone local who's got a connection with him. That was from September 10th, that was the day before. Unfortunately, this seems to be the only one of the few positive cuttings that are here. This one here, saying basically a police warning about people behaving themselves and whatnot. The shuttle buses from this place. Story about somebody losing a ticket. And from the day before, just basically stats about the show, sort of drumming up business for it. What have we got? That's just a continuation. Oh no, sorry, no, that's afterwards. Sorry, spoiler alert. So there's another one here from thing again, another police warning thing about people behaving themselves and whatnot. phone-in contest there, and the advert for that aforementioned big poster. From earlier, sorry, I'm not doing these in order. So again, coppers and boppers on their marks, good grief. So again, just more sort of police warning stuff about the cars and everything. So not really a news story, more of a public service announcement. And run switch to avoid concert. Oh, there was a charity run on the same day, and they had to do it early. Doesn't even give the name of the thing. I don't know what. Just says a huge charity race. Or must be the race against time. I don't know. But anyway, that's that. That was on the 8th. And then this is, I think, a continuation of one of the other stories. Just more sort of stats and sort of people being inconvenienced and the problems with the parking and the getting in and out and stuff. And so we come to after the concert. I'll start with this one. So, I mean, I don't know the any truth behind this, but you know, running battles with security forces, 30 arrests, stuff about security and people misbehaving, 40 people taken to Walton Hospital after being crushed. A guy went to appendicitis. Woman was pregnant. So it's basically sort of, you know, very minor, relatively minor things being blown out of proportion by a local newspaper. So there you are. And then finally, a small thing from the day after here. Just sort of just him leaving the country, basically, and that's that. And finally, we come to the supplements on the day after. So we have sort of various concert photos of the crowd, and more stuff. There's a story here. He used the Atlantic Tower Hotel. And his entourage. The bizarre star lived up to his semi-disguise. Right. He lived up to his statement, arriving in semi-disguise, decked in an anorak with a polo neck jumper pulled up to his ears. So because he was trying to hide his face, that's considered bizarre. So basically he didn't want the place to be mobbed, so he didn't give advance notice about who he was. Well, that seems obvious to me. It would have caused a riot if they'd known in advance, considering, you know, how famous he was. So here's the big, I mean, that's impressive. That's Aintree Racecourse right there thing. And then there's a review saying it was all a bit crap. Basically the main thing is that you were so far away. Oh, and Jumbo sausage fails were charging £1 for their fast food and driveways. £1. Blimey. Fake banners, homemade binoculars. Oh, people of Liverpool. Never one to miss an opportunity. But basically there's complaints about people waiting and the fact that it's so far away, and, you know, ticket out prices were 40 quid. Add a couple of zeros on that these days. So that's all very interesting. And then, well, that's fairly unequivocal. More concert footage, more of the man himself. So, basically, they say months of waiting, and essentially, he was a dot on the horizon. Didn't really connect with the audience, and Kim Wilde, the support act, who was, you know, quite big as hell at the time, was was better. He did some Beatles tunes apparently, but it was all very boring. It's not a very good review, but you question whether the guy is a Michael Jackson fan. So, and then there's a page of adverts, and another page of adverts. So, that's your lot really. It's a curious little sort of snapshot of an event. As I say, I've put all this together and it's selling on eBay at the moment. I think it's halfway through its 10-day auction. I'm not going to link it for the moment. I'd rather keep all my eBay stuff separate. But you know, you're welcome to go and find it on there if you like. But I thought I'd just show these things off. There's bids on it already. There's plenty of interest, as you might expect. So that's great. So I'll hopefully do some more, if anything, video worthy stuff comes along. I'll have this. Well, obviously, you know, after if you're watching this sort of about 5 or 6 days after the upload date, then the auction's finished. Obviously, I mean, if there's any questions you want me to ask, if you want to ask me about anything that was in any of the items, I might be able to remember after then. But as I say, this isn't a video to sort of say go and bid on the listing. It's just to go through this little curious little package of things. So I hope this has been interesting anyway. A little bit of 80s nostalgia there for you. This has been J5276, and I bid you goodbye.